Welcome to another episode of Dr. Brooke on the Block. It's time to grab a seat, buckle up, and take a ride with me through the wild, wild west of the Web3 universe, where we're going to learn all about coins and tokens, NFTs and contracts, digital real estate and the metaverse, and so much more. There is a lot to get through on the block, but I am here to pave the way and help you avoid those nasty pitfalls and rug pulls so you don't get hurt. I'm going to also introduce you to some interesting characters along the way. Are you ready? Your ride starts now. Hey, and welcome. I am Dr. Brooke. I am joined by my co-pilot here, James Andrew, who is the CEO and Technical Director at Global Liquidity Incorporated. He is the creator of Lightning Bridge ATM, which we're going to talk about today, the personal ATM for your Web3 wallets, and a fully transparent and 10x faster solution for depositing and withdrawing funds via the Bitcoin Lightning Network. James is an entrepreneur and technologist at heart. He was an early pioneer of high-frequency algorithmic trading and deeply involved in the electronification of Wall Street, where he started his career back in 1997. In 2018, he created his current company, Global Liquidity, where he began developing an advanced electronic trading interface based on real-time 3D graphics. Global Liquidity is currently backed by many different institutional investors, and I am very excited to have James on the show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Dr. Brooke. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So first things first, as a guest on the show, we always love to hear about how you entered the Web3 space, where you came from, and how you got here.
Well, it really all goes back to those early days on Wall Street with trading, because I got involved in electronic trading back then, and it was really exciting. In fact, a lot of people might remember who are a little bit older that there was this thing where all of a sudden you could trade as a regular person as a job. It was called day trading, and it was very exciting. And in a way, it felt a lot like the vibe I felt and noticed when I saw the whole crypto thing happening in 2017. Yeah. It was like the forefront then. And so when I saw what happened with it, like starting around 2017 with the huge like burst of interest in all of these things, including trading, right? Yeah. Because that was always been a big part of crypto. I felt like I was just really drawn to that and decided to kind of come back into that market because it was very exciting to me. And I felt an energy there that I hadn't felt in the regular world for a long time.
That's awesome. That's very exciting. And so that led you to build out Global Liquidity, like where you're at with that company right now?
Well, there was one more important step there. That what that really led to is before I built the company, I started a community in New York called James's Crypto Treehouse. And it was a Telegram group that ended up becoming like the center of crypto culture for like 2017, 18, 19 in New York. Had like well over 2,000 people, and we know each other. And I ended up throwing probably 50 dinners all around New York, just impromptu, like to get people together. And that's how I probably wouldn't have been able to start the company without first doing that, you know, getting to know everyone, etc. And so I kind of was excited that the whole community aspect of what we were doing was there in a way that hadn't been there when I was working, like whether it was on Wall Street or other things I'd done. I'm like, this is cool, you know, this is fun. And then I started the company. So that was a important episode. And I still have that group, but things are a little quieter now post-COVID.
That's awesome. I love that. I wish I was a part of the treehouse back then to see what you guys were up to. So you say you guys hosted some dinners and things like that, and it was just a lot of like chatter and talk and community and getting engaged around what this crypto world looked like, where we were going. Is that what that was about?
It felt kind of like, to those of us that knew, it felt kind of like the old rave scene, meaning like this real like collaborative, like it wasn't work. You know, we ended up making
the rave scene without drugs.
We had a lot of coffee. There
you go. Different kind of stimulant. Awesome. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about Global Liquidity. And then I do want you, I know you're going to give like a little bit of a like visual for the people who are watching this on video. For those of you who are listening just on audio, we'll also kind of break down some things. But I really want you to talk about global liquidity. You've been doing this since 2018. What does this look like? What is this project?
Yeah.
What are you building in Web3?
Well, I'll tell you, I started the company at the end of 2018, and we have a rather unusual story as a company in that we have pivoted 4 times to get here, and I'm thankful to have some investors that do see the vision and the long-term view here, because we've tried one thing and another, but each time we learn something and have zeroed in on something that I think is really excellent. We started as a company to bring to the market a whole new kind of a software for trading, where you'd see the market in 3D and trade do automated trading as a regular person. And we worked on that for a while. We ended up finding that there was problems with bringing it to market, and the COVID happened. It just wasn't, the market wasn't there for it. So we actually pivoted then to make it a multiplayer game, which we still have. We have this really awesome game. I could probably even
is this like augmented reality type game, like cell phone, download an app and play it like that, or is this full on like VR headphones?
Oh no, yeah, it's like that.
Or headset.
In fact, let's see. I could probably show something really quick here. Let's see. Can I do this? I will show a little clip of it, because but what happened was while we made the game, which I'll show in a second, because it is, and the game shows our 3D trading technology. Like, we basically kept saying, okay, what do we have and how can we make it more applicable to the world? And so we worked on making this game, which we still have, which I'll show in a second. The reason that we didn't actually continue with it is we realized that it needs more money behind it to market it than we have as a small company. Here it is. So I'm going to cut to my main desktop. So this is Trade the Game. Check this out.
Wow.
Wait, look. And what we're looking at there is live market data for Bitcoin trading. This is the order book, the actual bids and the offers, but we turn it into a game. And then that's my wife in there with me right now playing. And we have real-time audio that's in there. We're talking to each other and we're competing. And what we're doing is we're trying to bet which way it's going to go. And when you see, look, it's going down. And see, you basically it's distilling trading down to its essence. Anyway, that's
I love that.
That's Trade the Game.
This is what you guys did before, or this is what was going on.
Yeah, but we built all this technology. Like, for instance, have you ever seen a web page that looks like that? This is just a web page. Just a web page. Yeah, we built some really cool tech, right? But what we did here, you see these gems up here?
Yes.
What we did is we realized that we could use Bitcoin Lightning. Let me try to find the example. I think I show it right here. We can use Bitcoin Lightning to make payments, or to send to buy those gems in this case. And so what we did is we developed this Lightning payment system. There I am with my laptop about to scan a QR code. There you see there's a QR code here. See this? In the game, see that? We've got a QR code. And what we realized is we could allow people to deposit and withdraw into their, let's see if I could, is there anything to show here? Let's see if I go in. Yeah, we're selecting the amount of gems. Watch. We scan a QR code.
Yep.
Done.
Paid.
See that? On my phone, I paid it, and it was already done, and we bought gems. And the idea of the game was that in that competition, you'd all have to put some gems in, and then whoever is the best trader wins all the gems, and then you can really cash it out to your phone as Bitcoin. So
the gems could be traded into Bitcoin?
Well, yes, because it's a certain amount of sats per gem, Satoshis. We charge like a certain amount. Yeah. And so basically you buy them and then you cash them out. And so we found this way to use Bitcoin Lightning. But what we ended up doing next, is we next said, okay, this game, it's really hard to kind of get it out there right now. So what we did is we ended up building our system into an automated trading system on something called Mango Markets, which is a DEX on Solana. Okay. And you can see here, look, what we did is, see this screen here? Not a game anymore, right? We made it back into a tool that would see all these sights and sounds, that as you make trades in the real market, you see all these animations to let you know what's happening with your orders. And so we sort of started to make trading into a game, right? And this, we've been working on this, but the problem is Solana was having all these problems with its network, so our trades wouldn't go through, right? But then, lo and behold, we went down to the hackathon last, I forget what month it was last year, and this is me on stage presenting Trade Mango, but we presented a very particular feature. Let's see if I can play this here at the end. Yeah. We're going to deposit into it. Watch this. And so there's our QR code. Remember the QR code?
Wow. Yes.
We applied it to funding a trading account.
Oh my gosh.
Now watch this. Watch the response from the crowd. Yeah. Really, it was the hottest, it was the best response there. And you know how I know this? Because just 2 minutes after this, we were evacuated due to a bomb scare.
Stop.
No, really. People think it was someone from another chain that called it in, and that called it a bomb scare. And so we were evacuated. And as we were evacuated, people were running up to me saying, James, that was amazing. The part where you deposited the money into the account with Lightning. So what we did is we said, all right, this trading thing is cool, but we're having problems because of the market, because of Solana not working. And we realized, wait a minute. What if we can turn this payment system into a generalized payment system that could be used for not just Mango markets, but for moving money into and out of your own wallets with such an easy experience? And that's what we pivoted to make this thing called Lightning Bridge, which we have right here. And for those that can't see it, what I have on my screen is, it looks very much like a traditional ATM machine. Would you agree to that statement?
Yeah, it definitely does. Yes.
Yeah, it even has the buttons on the side. You know, my figure is that like everyone knows how to use this. You don't need to like figure it out. And so look, the first thing that's cool to note is to use this, you didn't have to write down a passphrase. You just logged in with Google. And we're implemented with Web3 Auth, which gives you your own wallet. It is your wallet, but Web3 Auth does a thing called key sharding, that they store part of the key, you store part of the key in your browser. It allows the average user to get going immediately without writing out a passphrase. Would I put my whole stash of Bitcoin in it? No way. But it's a great way to begin, like its level of security. And so we're logged in, we're connected, and look, I got balances. Watch this. Let's say I want to deposit. It's just like an ATM. I'm going to deposit Sol, however much I want. And I'm going to use Bitcoin Lightning. Now, guess what? You know what supports Bitcoin Lightning? Cash App. Cash App supports
Really?
It. Yes.
I did not know this.
Yes. Cash App supports it. Yeah, I've become friends now with the guy Danny, who worked at Cash App, who brought the Lightning Network to them and said we should do this, and they did it. And he's got this real cool service online now that I'll get to that later. But I hit Bitcoin Lightning here and watch this. It shows me I'm going to deposit $5. The fee is 25 cents. I hit confirm. Now, what I'm doing here is I've got my phone with Cash App on it. See the Cash App? And I'm just going to hit scan the QR code. Scan the QR code. I'm going to hit pay, and I'm going to put my PIN, and I hit PIN now. And now, done. We're detecting that the money has been sent, and now we've just put the money in your wallet, and it's done. And now you have that money ready to spend on an NFT site. Yep.
Oh my
and
goodness!
There it is. It's green now to show it's increased. And
okay.
Look, yeah.
Wow. No, I'm so sorry. Like that is so crazy phenomenal. Like I've been engaging in this space for the last almost 2 years now, and it is such a barrier to entry for people to get into or to mint new NFTs, and they got to move this money into Ethereum and get a MetaMask and whatever, all these crazy steps. You literally did that in 30 seconds.
Yes, that is our
heck.
That is our thing. And you'll notice. Did you notice the little touches, like how it would make sounds to let you know that it was processing, and it would ding when it was done, right?
Crazy.
Because what I know is it's just so uncomfortable to try to receive funds on most sites and apps, because you're wondering, where is it? Did I get it? Did I lose it? Did I enter? And then sometimes it takes minutes, or maybe it's an hour once in a while. Right? And there's no accountability for that. You're like, whatever, and you can't even contact anyone, right? So we said, what if we can make moving money in and out of these chains fun and actually fun and easy like this?
Yeah.
And look at this. You can withdraw the same way. Look, withdraw, Sol, $5. Bitcoin Lightning. Now, Cash App is currently rolling out this ability to receive. It's not everyone has it yet. So I have to use Wallet of Satoshi because they didn't give it to me yet. But within a week, they say, or so, it should be out to everyone. So I'm going to use a different Lightning app called Wallet of Satoshi that's able to receive. And I hit Bitcoin Lightning. See, that's how early we are in this. We're like, not even every app supports everything. But it's moving so fast that they will. So now look, now I want to receive. I hit confirm.
Yes.
What do you think it's going to do? It's going to pop up a confirmation, because remember, it's my wallet.
It's your wallet.
I have to confirm it. So in other words, we can't take it from you. You have to send it to us, right? So now you're doing a transaction to send it to us. Now we got it, and then we're saying, here it is. We'll pay you out now. We're going to scan that QR code with Wallet of Satoshi. Watch, I'm going to hit receive.
Yeah.
And then a moment here, done.
Done.
It's in my wallet, and your balance is lower.
Wow. James. So
this is Lightning Bridge ATM.
That's huge. And so when you were doing that demonstration, I noticed the two options in the demonstration was USDT and Solana. There is other networks now that Lightning Bridge ATM is supporting, right?
Yes.
Other chains. Okay.
In fact, we currently support Polygon as well, because we noticed that a couple things. You know why we went for Polygon first? We saw that Instagram did a deal with them, Reddit did a deal with them. That's real stuff, right? Yeah. And we noticed that with Polygon, it's even harder. Let's say you have a Kraken account and you get some Matic, which is the Polygon token.
Right.
You withdraw it. Well, guess what? You withdrew it on the Ethereum chain. So now you need to go to the Polygon Bridge site to do a 9 to 12 minute process at some point to send it to the other chain, right? We can do it in about the same time as you saw. And so what we see is there's actually, I just got back from San Francisco. Last week, there was the Circle Converge conference at Moscone Center. Circle is the creators of USDC, right?
Yes.
And one of the main things that they announced is they are bringing it to more chains. So what you're seeing is that I think stable coins are on their way up, especially USDC, because people realize they're very useful, and you need to be able to interact with all these chains. So that's what we're pursuing right now.
I love it.
Adding all these chains so you can move in and out of any of them very easily.
Oh my gosh, it's so powerful, because right now, and my audience is going to know this because they hear me on a week-to-week basis. They also hear all of these incredible co-pilots that I get to bring with me along for the ride talking about this. But right now, and you mentioned it earlier when you were saying it, we are so early to this space, but it's so difficult to onboard new people into it because of all the steps, because of all the friction to entry, because of all of the things that they have to have in line and in place before they can actually do these things. And so what you're doing, I'm sitting here watching it for the first time going, oh my God, my mind is blown. Like insane.
Check this out. I want to show you a slide that tells the story. Look at this. What this is showing is, look at the circles over here on the right.
Are you able to zoom in on that? Let me see if I can. Oh, there. Perfect.
There it is. Yeah. So if you look at these circles over here, you see the size of how many monthly active users there are.
Right.
And you see it's 11 million. Ethereum, Polygon is 2.4 million, a total of 19.6 million. Look over on the left. Look how many users just Cash App has.
Yes. Wow.
So you see, and Visa has this many. So what we're trying to do is sit right in here in the middle to help these people come over here, thus making these circles a lot bigger.
Wow.
Right? That's what we're doing.
Okay, well, first off, that's big. I mean, you guys are I went to the website before I even jumped on this interview, you know, when I was doing some background like work on and figuring out who you are and what you guys are doing. And one of the things, first thing on the website is like bridging Web 2 to Web 3.
Yes, that's the way.
And that diagram you just showed is that idea of
the Lightning Bridge,
Cash App, you know, Visa, all of that is very old school internet. We're getting ushered into the new world, blockchain technology. And Lightning Network ATM is doing just that. Holy freaking cow.
One more comment I want to make before maybe we can move to talk a little bit about the Lightning Network itself. I think
that's what I do want to talk about.
I just want to mention real quick, because where things are moving, this is how fast things move. We've realized that we don't want to keep this as just an ATM that people come to. So what we're doing it right now, I have my developers currently making it into a widget so that we can add it to all these wallets that, you know, that have a source, like you say, oh, go to MoonPay or go to Transact or whatever. So we're going to be added as a source that supports Cash App and Bitcoin Lightning. And we're going to be able to. And so that's what we're working on right now. It's like the final piece of the puzzle to kind of make this thing go to the levels I think it's going to go. So all of this is centered around the Lightning Network. What I want to talk about real quick is I want to show you another thing real quick that enables us to do this. And that is, if we go to my desktop, check this out. I'm proud of this thing here. I built this a couple of weeks ago. This is a public index of what you call Lightning nodes.
Okay.
That is, the Lightning Network is a system of nodes, that is people running software that sits on top of Bitcoin, which means you also need to run Bitcoin, the Bitcoin software, or the actual Bitcoin node. And now you got Lightning on top of it. And what it does is it enables people to set up connections between themselves called channels. And you have to do that by like putting a certain amount of Bitcoin in it. Like if you had a node and I had a node, or our two companies had a node, right?
Yeah.
I could get your URL from this index here, and I could go to my node over here, and I could open a channel to you. Here's my channels. See this? And what I've got here, if you look at my node, Lightning Bridge, it's already ranked called a gold node. I don't know what they mean, but I'm happy they think it's that. That's cool. look at my channels here.
Right.
Channels to what? Other organizations.
Yes.
OKCoin, the exchange. Look, Kraken. Oh wait, there's OKCoin's node I moved. Look, Kraken down here.
Yes.
Right? And you notice a bunch of them to OpenNode.com and River Financial. The reason is because I learned through talking with someone at Cash App that if I wanted to connect or receive payments from Cash App users for my business, what I need to do is open these channels. And what it means is when I scan that QR code that you saw, payment isn't going to some credit card processor. It's going to my Lightning node right here as and what that means is really for the first time, I as a small business am able to own the rails of the money and not pay someone 3% to handle it, like in the case of Visa, MasterCard, or ACH.
Right.
This is why I think Lightning is going to be a very, very big thing soon, and even more than it is now, because it is really like this alternative financial network that lets people take back the control of the network for themselves with their trading peers just by making connections with each other and setting rates on your channels. It's a really fascinating subculture at this point.
So when you say setting rates on the channel, is that like a rate for the service? So like, let's say I hire your services to do a job for me. I can pay you on that system without having Visa or MasterCard or ACH bank, whatever, 3% come in and take that.
It's a little bit different,
like
but yes, the end result is yes, you can end up paying trading partners or people over this network. But the way the rates work is actually very interesting. On that diagram I pulled up that had all those blue and green bars, each one of them is a channel, and on it is a setting of a rate, and that is how many satoshis per million do I charge for other people's transactions to flow through my node. And so what happens is, and what happens is when I send a transaction, the Lightning protocol, it's a very brilliant thing. You know, it's a kind of a technical thing, but what it does is it says, okay, I want to go from here to there. How can I get there? And who's got the best rates? So what it does is everyone can compete by adjusting their rates. If you set them high, you don't get that many. But if you really want your transaction to go through, put a lot of rates, and it will go through those channels that have a lot of rates set up. So what's very interesting is people are learning that you can earn yield on your Bitcoin without giving it to someone else by deploying your Bitcoin into channels. And it's easily 1%, but certain people are figuring out how to get up to 10% yield on their Bitcoin just by intelligently using this channel system to attract liquidity through them. And I think this is going to become a whole big new marketplace, much like DeFi became a thing, you know, staking and all that. This is like a new kind of staking. It's like deploying your Bitcoin, putting it to work for you. And I think as more people do that, it's going to I think it has the potential to start growing exponentially when people find the benefits of it.
So do you think, okay, because we're sitting at right now, and for those of you who might be listening and may not know this, the thing about Bitcoin is very deflationary in the sense that it will hit a cap, and that will be the end of the mining of Bitcoin per se in the way that's being done. So we're sitting at like 19.5 roughly, with like another 1.5 million to go. At the point at which all of the Bitcoin has been mined, do you think Lightning Network then is going to really take off at that point? Because now it's going to be moved around transactionally.
I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen I think what you'll see is on one hand, the amount of money that people are making from layer 1 mining goes down with the halving, and that's far away, but it does go down. But if you look at the rate of growth of the Lightning Network, even though the price of Bitcoin has been going down lately, the Lightning Network has just been going up and to the right at a good pace. So I think you're going to see an acceleration of the percentage of earnings that are made by people routing payments. And a corollary to that, if that takes off, would be that a lot more Bitcoin is put into the Lightning Network. Because right now, it's only 0.25%. It's 2.5 basis points right now. 2.5% of 1%, right? That's how much Bitcoin, because there's only 5,000 Bitcoin put out there into the Lightning Network, and there's already about 20 million. And if you just do the math, it's like not even 2%. It's like 0.02. It's like 2.5 basis points. So you could very easily think, what would happen if there was 10 times as much, 10 times as many nodes, 10 times again? All of a sudden, that could become a very significant payments network, and it could feed back into the value of Bitcoin. And that narrative of the Lightning Network and deploying your Bitcoin could be what sort of drives Bitcoin's price increase more than just the hodl it narrative that we're used to.
I see what you're saying. So then what would be the logical steps a person can take if they're like listening to you right now, which I'm listening to, and I'm like getting super excited. Like I'm like running through my skin. But if somebody's listening to you right now, what are the logical steps for them to become a part of the Lightning Network, to become the node so they can process those transactions?
It does require some amount of technical ability, not programming, but you can get away with doing some things without typing some things into a terminal, but you got to load up the terminal and learn how to type some commands. There's ways that you can it's getting better, but it's just a matter of reading the instructions. I encourage people that have never done it for anything else. Don't be afraid of it. Just try it. But what you could do, one thing that you could do, I think one of the best things out there to hit recently for what it brings to the world is the Umbrel node. You know the Umbrel node?
No.
If I'll show my desktop, it is an open source. I think there's some question about whether it is open source. There's some question about whether it's fully open source. Anyway, it's generally open source. And what it is, it's a little thing that runs either on generally on a Raspberry Pi. You have to buy one of those little teeny computers. They're like $60, and then it runs. And what it does, it gives you out of the box your own Bitcoin node, your own Lightning node, and a sort of like app store with all different tools that are also open source that help you run your own Bitcoin and Lightning node.
Oh, cool.
It used to take hours and hours of learning, but see, it says right there, Lightning node.
Right.
And like you can you can even buy there's one called like the Bitcoin box, I think. Is that what it is? Bitcoin box? I don't remember what it's called. You can buy pre-made like computers to run this, or you could run it on your own computer at home. One other thing that you can do if you wanted to actually play around with Lightning is experiment at voltage.cloud, because voltage.cloud will host a node for you. So you don't need to buy any hardware. You can just run it there, and then you still have to like learn how to use it. But it's the best way to like experiment.
Nice. Okay. So then getting back to your project, what you're doing, because I want you to be able to take time with what you're doing also. So that's really awesome. So you've created a database then for like an indexing site for people to be able to go to and be able to find all the other the nodes and things.
I didn't make that indexing site. That's another site, Lightning Network Plus Plus. That is our entry on it. That's just me showing you that by building up my node from scratch and putting some Bitcoin in it and connecting it in all these ways, it just shows up on the site. It's almost like claiming your own .com back in the day.
Yeah.
You know? So like you might want to go get a node just so you could have a node called Dr. Brooke, and you could be the Dr. Brooke. Right. Like, and one thing I'm considering in my business going into is helping businesses like yours or people that have a business or whatever, even individuals, get on the Lightning Network. Because like all those connections I made, if you got a Lightning node and then you made one connection to my node, you would benefit from all those connections. You see, there's a way. So there's like a whole new potentials for new kinds of financial relationships where what you're doing is you're actually establishing a node, just a channel to someone else for the purpose of sending payments back and forth. So this is at its infancy compared to where it's going to go, but there's so much potential here, I think, for new kinds of commerce and in ways that are really cool.
I definitely agree with you, and I can see that. You know, there's a lot of like still unanswered questions because it is in its infancy. But I also think, you know, just really being able to kind of see ahead and into the future, like there's definitely something with this.
Yeah.
On from a technical standpoint, you know, it's computers talking to each other and connected and those kind of things. But then from the community aspect of building, it's kind of like what you did with the treehouse, all of these connections and these people that you built along the way to get you to this point, like building up the treehouse to allow you to be introduced to amazing people who might have even helped you with global liquidity.
That certainly happened. You know? Yes.
So
actually, I was absolutely introduced to our first investors by someone that I knew in the treehouse because I went to her birthday party and the hedge fund people were there. The VCs were there.
Right. See, like you never know. You're like one connection away. And
I'll tell you, there really is a community among those that run the biggest Lightning nodes because they all know each other because they talk. And it reminds me of the early days of computers when you used to like call up different computers with a modem with the thing called a BBS. And it was like, if you were in on that then, you were like in the know in this new thing. No one else knew about it. And I feel like with the Lightning Network, it's at that stage. So if you want to get in on something that hasn't peaked yet and hasn't isn't a has-been thing, look at the Lightning Network.
Oh, awesome. I love it. Okay. Like, I know we're wrapping up this ride here in a few minutes. I want to ask you, like, for those that are listening, what is like one thing that you would say, because, you know, you've had quite a journey, you understand a lot of technical things. Say like you're kind of starting out fresh again, you don't understand much of the technology. Here's a new world getting ushered in. Like, what is something you would encourage somebody with as they're kind of starting on their journey into this world?
Well, let me think. I would say a really good step with all of this, like especially if like parents even have kids that they want to teach these sorts of things. I think a really big first step is getting something like a Trezor and learning how to self-custody Bitcoin. Like particularly take that step. Like if that's a big step that someone can take is just taking that, if you have some Bitcoin, it's on an exchange, go get a Trezor, learn how to back up the key phrase. It's kind of like you really feel good about it once you've done it, because not only have you done it, but you learned this skill that could become very, very important in our lives in the future. I really think like being able to hold your own funds. I mean, who knows, with the volatility of the world, you never know when it might be an important thing for you to be able to put some of your finances on a little thing and go somewhere else quick. Right?
That's very true. That's very true. We have no idea what's going to happen. So I love that. That's great advice.
And I would say look into getting an Umbral. I think that's a really good move, because it's like a move into, like, if you want to get hands-on, look at getting an Umbral and setting it up.
I love that. I'm going to look into getting one myself. Even just the little tutorial you walked through, I was like, that's really easy. I can do that. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here, James. How can people stay connected with you? Like, you have incredible energy. People need to freaking just be in that.
Well, you can just search Lightning Bridge on Twitter and look for our Lightning Bridge Twitter and DM me on there. You know, my messages my DMs are open on there, and you can follow Lightning Bridge to find out what we're doing as we go.
Awesome.
And check out, and I should say that Lightning Bridge, the ATM I showed, is out right now. You can go to lightningbridge.com and play with it, use it. You could buy NFTs with it. It works.
Awesome. That's so exciting. And I'm going to link all of that in the show notes below, so everybody can just have easy access. There's no friction. You don't have to type in anything. Just click the links that James talked about and you will be good to go. So stay in touch with him, stay connected to what he's doing, because he is a fast moving train, and you guys want to be a part of what is going on. At least, like he had mentioned, dive in, start to learn, get your hands dirty, play in the world, and that's where you're going to learn the most. So
cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, James. As we pull this ride into the station, you guys know the drill. Make sure you exit to the right, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you very much.
You made it. Congratulations. That wasn't so bad, was it? I hope you laughed and learned a little bit more about this Web3 universe and how simple and fun it can really be. Would you be so kind as to leave us a review and share it with your friends and family? It would mean so much to get this out to more people as we embark on the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever happened in human history. Can't wait to see you on the next one.